There is Sarah Cox, a record-setting day for her. She becomes the most capped female referee. 35 matches for her. Congratulations.
Okay, awesome.
Joined by Amira Viciano, Jenny Louie from the U.S.
Just make sure we stay behind the back.
Andrew McMenemy in the television match official. We need it in the last game. We'll see. It is the green and gold of Australia. The Wallaroos will kick off to Canada. And it's Bukaboom who gathers, perhaps fittingly, such a strong ball carrier.
Stay here.
Canada have gone largely unchanged after a tough match against the Black Ferns.
Make sure we're on side, blue.
One of the changes is right there. Claire Gallagher, the youngster going to university here for the Ottawa GG's program, has been given the number 10 jersey today. Huge chance for her in her first start. Strong carry there from Brianna Cheatham.
Tackle!
Ooh. Tackle was called as Sarah Calgary tried to rip it out. You heard the referee explain the knee was on the ground, so tackle complete.
Something Canada struggled with last week was the discipline around the breakdown and reading the cues off their teammates. Their exit strategies was also something. They struggled to get out of their end zone. They've brought on 2 new kickers. You've got Claire Gallagher at number 10. You've got Maddie Grant at number 15. Both with some distance on their kicks, so they'll be looking to get the ball down the field and give Canada a better platform to play off of than we saw last week.
Yeah, it's a great point. The kicking strategy made life relatively easy for the Black Ferns. Right now, though, it's the Wallaroos who bobble the ball. Emily Tutosi from Souris, Manitoba. Oh, she tries to tip pass, and that's a knock-on. Deliberate. My sevens expert here is thinking maybe a yellow card was on offer there.
My mind is so ingrained in sevens, but in 15's just a penalty.
Well, already a little bit more distance on the boot.
On the line, mate. I'll pop you on the line there.
See here, if the left hand goes out.
Just step over, take that line. Take that line.
No, and she knew right away, no attempt to catch that, just interfering with the play, batting it backwards. Well, forwards, actually.
Gives Tutosi a chance to hit her target. Good movement. They go to the back and they're formed up. That throw was not straight. Sarah Cox has got right on the case, and this is something we talked about. The Canadians perhaps a bit slow in the last match to go to that forward tactic. Their forwards did so well at the last Rugby World Cup, and it's got to be considered a strength for them.
And even the moments they had the ball last week, they were really impactful for Canada. Tyson Bukaboom, Fabiola Forteza, Sophie de Goody. So many options in these lineouts. An unfortunate error there for Canada.
Better line out there. Australian coach Jade Tregoning will be happy with that. Now they're on the move. Coming up the side is Courtney Holcamp.
Right, we played away.
Big tackle by Bukaboom. This is good play from the Aussies. Bree Cheatham. Now some width on the ball. Thinking about going over the top was Friedrichs, but she held on to it.
Yeah, she's good.
And it's stolen by opposite number, Alicia Corrigan. Great first action from her.
Okay, leave it now, gold. You're all done.
Tip pass to Tutosi. The Rex formed there, and there's going to be a penalty.
You were good. She's going to get out quicker, affects the clear.
So Sarah Cox explaining why the penalty was against Australia, that one of the players not rolling away quickly enough.
Tackler needs to get out as quick as possible before that second arriving player can get in and go for the turnover. There's been a lot of these calls throughout the Pac-4 championship. There's Maddie Grant on the field for Canada, sending the ball down the field, looking for the territory game.
Playing rugby with the Cornwall Claymores. That one's better from Tutosi, almost goes the wrong way. But now Canada's off and rumbling. A pack that's played a lot of rugby together under Kevin Rouet, the head coach. But Australia's gone around and disrupted. I think it's Michaela Leonard, the captain, who's made a complete nuisance of herself. And that has stopped as a maul, so it will be a turnover. Great work from Leonard.
Might become a battle of the rolling mauls here. Australia scored 3 tries last week off their maul and defended that one really well. But as we mentioned, Canada's strength is in these forwards and the work they can do off the lineouts and the scrums.
So 5 minutes in. 7 p.m. local time here, so the conditions not quite as hot as we've seen them in previous matches. We're playing this match on the artificial turf of the TD Place. That is the home of the Ottawa Red Blacks. Canadian football team, that's gridiron team. Big scrummage, Australia doing well to hold off the challenge. Looking to angle back to Sio Kapesi Palu. Now they're going to go back in the boot.
Gold weight!
Use the boot.
Gold weight! Yep. Good, nice work.
Rare touch for Paige Ferries. Great dancing feet from her. We know she can do that. The Ajax, Ontario native is superb. Options for Canada. Busting through the mini. DeGoody puts it out wide, but it doesn't quite go to hand. Still a chance for Canada. Corrigan infield.
No, you're off feet, Gold.
Bookaboom. Peltier looks short. Kaljabi lets it go. Standing still for the moment was Corrigan. Now she's held up. She releases it. This is a good passage to play for Canada. All carrying with some conviction is Claire Gallagher. Bookaboom has got great hands. This is nice work from the Canadians. Sarah Maud Lachance wisely just gets back in field. They're asking a lot of questions for the Australians out wide. There's a nice pass again into McKinley Hunt. Really quick ball being produced into 8 phases. Busting the tackle, Courtney Holcamp. Quick pickup from Sarah Savola. Kaljavi releases it. They get it out wide. Paige Ferries knows she needs to get off the line, and she does. Big counter up. Smart play there.
Good counter up.
And Aussie have got their hands on it. The Wallaroos can now clear the line. Well, this is a frantic start. Almost 2.5 minutes of ball in play here. Brought down is Emily Chancellor. Strong counter tackle. Finally, fellow McKenzie puts a boot to it, but Paige Ferries has it. She steps out of one. She's going for the line. 22 meters out. Ball in the right arm. She gets crushed by Kramer. Still Canada ball. First receiver to Tosi. Bobbled by Peltier.
Always in the
Ferries
hands.
is down just to the top of your screen for the moment.
Good run.
Courtney Holcamp. She's lost it going forward. Advantage being taken by the Wallaroos.
Knock on advantage over.
Well, this is a test of the S&C work both teams have been doing. And finally, Australia stick it into touch. Great rugby from both sides.
And great pressure from Canada. Both times they lost that ball. They forced Australia to kick it back, giving Canada back possession. Paige Ferries with the nice run, still on the ground in the backfield there. I think just catching her breath from that tackle. But she carried well, stepped through a couple defenders.
That was Paige Ferries from Red Deer, Alberta, starting that run. She's down.
They're a bit tight.
Just
both sides.
Looks to be back on her feet. Great to see. What a great character. Really coming into her own.
Part-time comedian, full-time rugby player.
Just give me a little bit of space at the backs of these runs.
Went to a great event where the national under-20 team was being hosted, and she was having some fun, some Q&As with the younger ladies. Can't tell you how important the advent of the women's Pac-4 coming to Ottawa has been for the Canadian game, and particularly young women and girls. Canada lineup. Well gathered by Fabiola Forteza. She got a try in the last match. Almost had 2. The no-look pass from Kaljabi doesn't go to hand.
No problem, yeah. I'll sort that out. We'll sort the gap out, right?
Sarah Sabota
Right, in we come.
had herself camped out wide outside of Sarah
Right, let's
Kaljubi
make
at
sure we've all
12.
got headspace for each other, okay?
Started her run really early and had a lot
Right.
of pace, but maybe just a bit too much pace to take in that catch.
Chance for Lane Morgan in the number 9 Australian jersey. New South Wales Waratah. This attack going.
Crouch!
Options both sides for the Wallaroos.
Bind! Set!
They made a debut in 22 against Fiji. Off the back now, Grace Hamilton. She got to try it in the last game. Now the chip over. And a wicked bounce off the turf here. And maybe watching the tapes, New Zealand had some success chipping in behind the Canadians. Going early to the boot there, Australia.
It's on you, right? Yep.
Last week, Canada left that
Just
gap
step over.
between the back
Step
line
over
and
a
the
little bit.
fullback, who was set really deep. So there is an opportunity, but that one just waited too much. Gave the backs enough time to get back, gave opportunity for the fullback to get across. Even if they did get it back, Canada was in good position to defend.
Courtney Holtkamp brings it down for Canada. Again, a nice drive formed by the Canadians. Still in their own end, though. Tosi wants a hand on
Say
it.
more, say more.
This is her natural
Two
position of
goal
command.
Two goal outs.
Scored many tries in the Rugby World Cup this way. He hands it off. She's now going to be a blocker, a legal blocker. Canada driving almost to the halfway line. They've got the arm out. That's a penalty advantage.
There's no
Now
right
they
on
can
the
have a
pitch.
shot. Risky offload. It went back. Referee's
Okay,
going to bring
let's
it back
make sure we
for
get
the
colours,
original
guys.
penalty.
So I need to know who's doing what. Okay, so number 2 gold, yeah?
A bit of a
Collapse.
warning for Adiana Talakai, the Australian hooker.
Really nice platform for Canada at the back there. Justine Pelletier had a little look herself. I think the pass before contact was the option, and Sophie DeGoody might have been away.
That's all right, mate. Don't worry. Don't
Not an
worry.
option. This kicking
Right,
game,
just on the
Madison
line
Grant,
there,
a
that's
nice
it, yeah.
nudge down the sideline, gaining 35 meters. Such a difference from the last game. There is Emily Titosi. So consistent. It's the target, bang on. Okaboom, that's a set play, gets it back to Titosi inside. She's not held so she can roll. Now they go through McKinley Hunt. There's numbers there for the moment, but DeGoody carries it in and loses it. She lost a few against New Zealand.
No.
Again, Australia happy to use the boot and gain some territory. As fantastic as Sophie DeGoody is, this is something that's creeping into her game. She's going for those extra yards and had the ball stripped off her 2 or 3 times in this tournament.
There you go.
She's a big body with a lot of power.
Time off.
Sometimes bigger players,
Play it down, you got time
not
off.
that I am one and can speak to it personally, but forget about the legs and the contact. And she has so much power coming through her legs and hips. Just continue to battle to get that extra
Just
couple
with
meters.
numbers, just a little bit quicker with those. I'll say the same to them as well, all right? So I don't have to slow you down, all right?
And if you're new to rugby, that is our referee Sarah Cox, who's mic'd up. She's kind of like our third
just a little
commentator
bit quicker
here.
with numbers for them as well.
And
They've
communication
had the same
with
chat, so I
players.
don't have to slow your tempo down, all right?
So important, and a good
Okay,
understanding
we
of
all
what the players are
sorted?
trying to
All
achieve.
sorted?
That is why she's got 35 test matches
Get
under
time
her
back
belt.
on.
The
Right, gold.
English
There's your mark,
referee.
all right?
The sun is dropping here, and that may affect some sight lines later on with a few high balls going up. Titosi. It's a target again. This one, Forteza pulls it down. It's off the top ball for the Canadians. Big Sarah Kaljubi. Now Peltier circling around, playing her rugby in Bordeaux. French champions with Stade Bordelais. Australia, good line speed up the middle. Canada a little bit flat-footed, but dancing out of them is another Stade Bordelais player, Fabiola Forteza. Oh, the 2-second rows linking up midfield. Tyson Bukaboom, great offload, keeping the play alive to Claire Gallagher. The crowd are on their feet. Canada's 10 meters out. Bukaboom to Kaljubi. It's shipped wide. The show and go from the captain. Peltier organizing.
Make sure we're on side. Stay there. Stay there.
Quick pick from McKinley Hunt. She goes down quickly. Second pick from Sarah Sabota.
Up the side of the ruck.
Australians up to it for the moment. The gold wall is up. Kaljubi flips it wide. Doesn't go to hand. Ferries has to let it bounce. Paige Ferries down. The backs secure the ruck ball. Now they come back with the big girls. That's Dalika Menen. Really good lines, playing right on the game line. Courtney Holtkamp. Peltier thought she might have been in for a second. A few of her own players in her way. Good ruck technique from the Canadian women. They can go with the foe. Sabota. Bukaboom never loses a collision. The ball's shipped wide. Perhaps surprise for Menen. She does her best.
No advantage.
Penalty. Offside Australia, the previous passage. So the crowd applauding that great effort from the Canadian team.
Halfway up the ruck.
Numerous phases put together there. The forwards working so hard. The big run by Courtney Holtkamp. That's her third in this game already, putting in the meters and the carries.
Look,
Canada opting for the scrum here.
Whether you can actually do something about it or not.
Captain Sophie De Goody made that choice from Victoria, BC, the Castaway Wanderer.
I get you. I thought that one you just fell real quick.
For Australia starting to creep up. De Goody, a multi-sport athlete playing varsity basketball and rugby at Queen's University. In fact, was the U Sports Athlete of the Year. Leading her team to the rugby championship and a bronze in the basketball championship.
Crouch! Binds!
Justine Peltier. Didn't quite get the initial scrub. But now De Goody's found it. De Goody 5 meters out for the line! Sophie De Goody! And Canada get on the board!
Captain's try thanks to her forward pack. It was a little messy to start, but the wheel put her in a beautiful spot to take that forward. Nobody in front of her, and Justine Peltier was outside as an option as well. Look at that, perfectly positioned to get under the sticks. Australian players piling on top of her.
Well, in old school term, this would be a goal. The try and the extra 2 for a 7-point lead for Canada. Well, she scored a big one against New Zealand to get her team back in. A stranger for the try line and nominee for World Rugby Player of the Year.
She continues to impress globally as a number 8 who also kicks conversions.
Great ambassador for the game off the field as well. So Bella McKenzie will get things back in. She's playing her rugby Harlequins in London. Oh. Boom. Ball's being a little bit greasy out there potentially. Hot, sweaty conditions here in Ottawa.
Not pleased with herself on that one. You can see by the look on her face.
We had a tornado warning in town.
Okay, let's build a little bit quicker.
Some of the teams were doing a rugby camp a few days ago, but thankfully everyone's safe and sound. But it does speak to the summer conditions here.
Crouch!
Scrums have been fairly even so far. The referee gives the commands. She's not happy.
Right, we've got to make sure we're holding our weight that far side, okay? Sit back a little bit, hold your weight. You hold your weight as well, okay?
That means she doesn't want either team coming forward ahead of time. Let's just listen in as Sarah Cox is in control of all 16 women here and the commands she gives them.
Crouch!
There's the first one.
Bind! set.
They are down now. Australia have the advantage. That ball fed straight to the back. Was it hooked? Yeah, play on, said our referee. Free ball for Canada. Good drop off from Maddie Grant. LTA dips under an arm tackle. The goodies in the 9-hole.
Advantage is over.
Advantage over from the knock-on. A strong carry from Courtney Holtkamp. She was outstanding against New Zealand. Now some width for Canada. Great tackle coming in from Ashley Marsters, the Melbourne Rebel. And the left-footed kick from Gallagher. Doesn't come off, but bounces kindly for Canadian fortunes. Kookaboom.
No, not on the ball. Taken back.
Now they're going to try and kick high down the middle. Coming up from fullback, it's Laurie Kramer. Oh, good line speed from Canada. As a result, Australia decided to put the boot to it. Gallagher sweeping in behind. She's playing the sweeping role in defense. She's brought down out wide. And she's isolated. Great work from Australia. They've won the penalty there. That was Grace Hamilton getting all the way over and securing the ball.
Claire Gallagher wearing the number 10, but as you mentioned, playing in the backfield on those kicks, expecting a kickback. They've got Maddie Grant on the chase on that one. But Paige Ferry's just found herself in front and in an awkward position to support the line.
Well, so much on the line here. The Capgemini World Rankings just came out, and if the Australians could beat Canada by 15 points, they would go to 4th. Their all-time best in the table. There's the double tackle. Going to need a lot of that for them to topple the home side here today.
Through this series, Canada has really struggled with these exit options, whether it's execution or reading their option on the defensive reads there.
All gone back.
Eva Karpani got 2 tries in the last match against the U.S. She gets her hands on that. Well, this is good opportunity in the red zone. The Wallaroos pumping the legs. Only 5 meters out now, still on their feet. Now they go down. Tackle complete. Coming hard around the corners, Bree Cheatham. She's on her own. Now they form up. Canada putting their bodies on the line. Quick pick from Karpani. She's looking for another try here at the Pac-4. Show and goal for Arabella McKenzie.
No, 5, leave.
Coming hard. Canada just hanging on. Big carry there. Ashley Marsters around the corner, showing great strength to get it down for Australia.
Well, they built off that clearance attempt from Canada, got themselves deep into Canada's zone. And look at the line. That in angle, it's so hard to cover. The defenders don't see it coming, and then too much power and support coming in through the Canadian defense.
Thanks, mate. Yeah, you're good, thank you.
Ashley Marsters with the support of her outside player there.
You got eyes on the clock. Go.
I think that one hurt, but it's well worth it. She's got 5 points for her team.
Thank you, buddy.
So, big response. Also important to take this home crowd out of it. The Wallaroos working hard through their forwards. Just 15 to the right. Nice strike. Flags go up, so we're all square here in Ottawa.
Don't. Absolutely not. Off you go, now.
The score now stands Australia 7, Canada 7.
Sarah Kaljavi, as we mentioned, playing with a heavy heart, lost her father some weeks ago and really has vowed to channel all the emotion she has into this performance. She did really well against New Zealand and holds her spot here against the Wallaroos. Australia going to use the boot again. This one goes right down the middle to Madison Grant. Cornwall, Ontario native, just carries right through the middle, not much on for her. Good kick chase from Australia. Bukaboom as the receiver. The right idea for DeGoody, but just can't get it to hand again. Bridge Ferries.
No, you're off feet! You're off feet!
Australian players off her feet so she can't steal that ball. There's a wide flat one from Peltier. Kaljuvi into space. A great sevens exponent, of course. Many matches on the HSBC World Series. Oh, big hits there. That one was Sabota who took that one. Both sides putting their bodies on the line. Nice hands from Menon, but just can't quite connect. Jutosi. Well, this is Kevin Rouet's game, phase after phase. We're into 8 phases. The Frenchman loves it. And he has a lot of faith. Peltier looks like she's hurt or exhausted or both. Someone else is going to have to step in that 9 role. And they do in the form of Delika Menon. Big pass. Cutting in field. Sarah Maud Lachance, the pride of Qualification de Quebec. Tons of supporters here from over the Quebec border in Montreal, in Quebec City.
And you mentioned Canada still playing without a 9. Justine Pelletier limping in the backfield, just trying to get herself back into it.
Fabiola Forteza, another strong run. 15 meters out now from the Australian line. A couple of options there. Almost picked off.
Hold. So it's just a knock on.
By Bella McKenzie.
Very nearly intercepted, so just a knock on, okay?
Well, she did well there. There were unmarked Canadians outside her. McKenzie perhaps saving a try as we see Peltier get some treatment.
And medical checking in with her. They played many of those phases without a number 9. And they were putting the phases together, but not a lot of go forward. A little bit of depth added might give them a bit more momentum. She's gonna stay on the field, but you can see the discomfort in her face at the moment. We'll keep an eye on her. And potentially Olivia Apps on the bench getting ready.
Justine Peltier, another member of that great women's club, the CRQ, the Club de Rugby de Québec.
Bind!
Originating in Rivière-du-Loup.
Set!
Captaining the Stade Bordelais team that just won the French championship. There are only 2 seasons there. Joined by Fabiola Forteza. Well, the Canadian backs are really trying their hand. That was Madison Grant. They've won the penalty.
She's not supporting her body weight. Make sure you
The
support
arriving
the body weight
Australian
first.
player is not supporting. Quick tap, Peltier goes. Holtkamp.
Advantage.
Australian players not 10, and this could be trouble.
Canada taking advantage of that, going quick, forcing the penalty, creating the opportunity for them. And I'd like to see them keep playing here. You can see the conversations happening amongst the players. And another scrum is called.
So the 6th Australian penalty. Because Canada awarded a penalty, the Australian players need to retire 10 meters before they can get involved. So don't quite know why the mark
Come on,
is
let's
not on
build
the
quicker,
5.
please.
But there we
We're
go,
not
the
going to
quick
take time
tap.
off the clock. Let's go.
Perhaps lucky not to get a yellow card for a professional foul here. Canada were off and running.
Got Claire Gallagher and Maddie Grant stacked right behind the scrum. Looking for some misdirection likely.
To Ontario products. Gallagher from Caledon, Ontario, and the Aurora Barbarians. They're on the move. The crowd will let you know. We saw this in the World Cup. Can Sophie go to keep it in? Australians coming up the side and collapsing, and arm is out, advantage is on. Gallagher gets it out early. Nice hands from the Canadian backs. Sarah Maud Lachance for the Canada.
Sophie de Goody had her eye on the line, but realized it was getting hung up. And the quick little hands, Canada's backline was still flat, but they were able, because of the speed of the passes, to get it out wide. And look at the momentum that the scrum had. The defenders having to retreat. And the little hands, a little awkward, but they made it work.
Yeah,
and Sarah Maud Lachance for Canada.
Well, the fans love it. Head coach Kevin Rouet has been rewarded. These youngsters have had a fine start, 28 minutes into this. And by youngsters, I mean Claire Gallagher, Alicia Corrigan, Maddie Grant, and Sarah Maud Lachance, who gets her try there.
And what an opportunity for Claire Gallagher. She got her first cap last week, came off the bench, and then gets the start at number 10 for Canada. A position historically Canada.
Oh.
That Canada has looked to build off and try and find the right person, and maybe it's Claire Gallagher who's going to seize this opportunity. And all to do in her hometown, where she went to university, near where she grew up.
And there are all sorts of Ottawa GGs, that's the name of her university team. Very vocal and very supportive. And now she's going to put it on her left foot and put it long. And again, a dimension of the game Kevin Rouet has been right to address. Health sciences major getting her first start here for Canada.
Canada, just on this line. You can take the line. That's it.
So for Australia, they need to get back to work. They're down 12-7. 30 minutes played in this first half. There we go. The once means Australia must either go again and play, or if they're stopped, it'll be a turnover. Now they're going to use it. In tight is Hamilton. Looking inside. And Morgan. Ashley Marsters, the try scorer. Good tackle there from Canada's McKinley Hunt. Lots of movement in that backfield, but it doesn't go to hand. Cleaning up the mess is Ivania Wong, who brings in red. And Canada's won the penalty. Corrigan, Lachance, they're all there. Caljuvi.
And the backs going to work there in the breakdown, doing the hard work.
We'll have a chat in a minute, okay? So you've asked me twice now. I've also been, so just hear me out. I've also been shouted at by one of your water carriers as well. That's enough. Stop asking about it. We've got it, okay? How many?
Oh, you hear some of the exchanges that go on in international rugby. Sarah Cox not happy about being asked too much.
I've been on the receiving end of that exact conversation with Sarah Cox.
On the line, please.
She's taking control of the match.
Yes, please.
Sophie de Goody has the right to speak with the referee as captain, but also other players are doing it, and the refs do not like that.
And not water carriers, most definitely. Good width again from Canada. Julie on her feet. Oh, beautiful hands. It's got to go again. And it does. Lachance in space. A little bit indecisive. And good defensive work. Oh!
Okay, it's lost gold.
McKenzie made a great tackle. Offside.
Sarah Maud Lachance getting her hands on the ball quite a lot in this first half.
Offside.
The young winger. But the kick option was definitely on if she has that chip kick in her skill set. That was the winger that flew up on Fabiola Corteza.
At the moment, every time something happens, your 10 shouts at me.
Okay. Canada on the 22, threatening. Those penalties costing Australia territory.
In 5.
Oh, the maul's been brought down.
Tackle the ball carrier, first player.
Good explanation. She was the ball carrier, so she brought down. Dalika Menon, the pride of Vulcan, Alberta. Heavy grip on the ball. DeGoody thought she may go herself this time. Bukaboom puts it wide to her second row partner. Knocked into touch off an Australian hand. Referee's looking for a bit of help from her assistant official.
Backwards off goal, yeah? Okay.
So the question was it deliberate?
Yep,
Because
so black line
you
out.
can't knock it into touch intentionally.
goal.
Let's see what happens here.
Courtney Holcamp, good shot from Ivania Wong.
Oh, on the end of the line, sorry. I thought you heard me say that.
All right, this has
Okay, time on.
been a very profitable position for this group. Kevin Rouet's team over the last 2 or 3 seasons. 10-meter line out. Canada, job done, one. They slip up the outside. Third Bukaboom. She's brought down 4 meters out. Quick pick from Dalika Menon. She's driven back. A hint of a knock-on, say the Aussies.
I've got that back.
Play on. Courtney Holcamp. Body after body firing into the Australian defensive line. Sabota has a go.
Advantage is offside.
Advantage being played for Canada. They're offside, Australia. Over the line. Can she get it down? And wouldn't this be fitting? It's Tyson Bukaboom. On her 60th cap, Tyson Bukaboom gets a very important try for Canada.
If you ever want to play a score in a test match, it's in a moment like this. She's been a staple of this Canadian team for a long time now. She started the playoff with that roll off the initial line out, got Canada going go forward, and then the forwards went to work, pick after pick. Great moment for Tyson Bukaboom.
But I get what you're saying.
Exactly how she plays the game. Rough and tumble through the middle.
DeGoody adds the extra 2.
Thanks, mate.
Tyson Bukaboom, as we mentioned, from a great sporting family. Cousins Matt and Brett, both national team standouts. 2 cousins on the national water polo team. Mom's a track star. The brother's in ice hockey. And Jeff, her father, is a very, very famous ice hockey player for the Oilers, the Edmonton Oilers, and New York Rangers. 4 Stanley Cups to his name. Well, little daughter has just got a big, big try for Canada in this battle up against Australia on her 60th cap. Australia, less than 5 minutes to play here. DeGoody says, no, we've given that one enough. Just going to settle my team down. And this has been a difference. Canada able to clear their lines, going off the left foot of Claire Gallagher. And that kick has gained some territory, and now the black wall comes forward.
Okay, go, stop.
Australia wisely put it in behind. Having a look is La Chance. She says, no, you can have it way back there if you want to start this attack. And start it they will, through Laurie Kramer. Another player playing her club rugby at Exeter Chiefs in England. Teammates with Tatosi and co, but not today. Did well to let go. The tackle was above the shoulder line. Good discipline there. This is better from Australia. They're starting to win some collisions around the field.
Please.
Support's a little slow to arrive. Now the kick again from McKenzie. Sticking up the high one. But Gallagher's got lots of time to put it on her left boot. What a transformation to Canada's ability to get field position with this kicking game.
First player.
Immediate steal. And lost back again.
Around your neck.
Tackle around
the neck.
So Canada doing the little things very well, like a steal there.
Number 2.
And as you mentioned, Claire Gallagher is getting herself in the backfield. So when Australia is kicking it back, they have the option to run and attack, and then they have the option to kick back. And each time they're gaining a little bit of territory incrementally down the field. And then these penalties from Australia giving Canada territory, although that one not going to touch.
A little bit of surprise, maybe. That one was spilled. And I think it was Kramer there who took a bit of a knock. Wasn't quite sure what to do there. Just spilled it.
Frustration starting to build for Australia.
Credit the Canadians getting downfield for their teammate who's actually shanked that kick.
The chase is almost as important, if not or more important than the kick sometimes. Making something out of nothing.
So 1 minute 20 in the first half here. This is the 6th match of the Pacific Forward Championship. Women's rugby has hit town hard over the last 2 weeks in Ottawa, Ontario, Canada. The last match here in the home side. We've got 3 tries to 1 against the Wallaroos right now. A minute to play. Goody has it at the back. Pops out. Oh, nice little looping run. Through the middle goes Corrigan. Well-worked play from Canada. Sabota pushes it wide. Grant may not be thankful for it, but she does well to keep going. Bookaboo. Beltier gives it wide. The Goody's got a half gap. Gets the left hand out. Gets to the line. Sophie the Goody, number 2.
Training, and they got it off beautifully there. And then Sophie the Goody, the defender, drifts out, finds herself in a bit of space with the inside defender, the shove off of her. You're not going to stop Sophie the Goody trying to stand up and reach for her.
Great awareness from the Goody. She saw the 2 second row partners out there, Leonard and Leaney. She thought her footwork could beat him, and it did. And now she's tasked with adding 2 more points, and she will. So Canada starts the first half with 4 tries. He's put 26 on the board, up against Australia's 7 here in Ottawa. They're capable of a comeback. They were outstanding on this field against the Americans, were Australia. And they'll need something special as Canada are really feeling it. Backs and forwards linking up well. A few penalties, as we saw in the halftime stats, costing Australia a bit of momentum. And normal service resumed as this great front row from Canada. McKinley, Tutosi, Delika Manan, all great ball carriers. Add to that the intensity of Fabiola Corteza.
Leave it, 5, leave it.
So dynamic, an overlap there. There was one criticism of this Canadian team. There's a couple of overlaps they haven't taken advantage of. But with 26 points on the board, I'm sure head coach Kevin Rouet will be happy. Watching from home, assistant coach Jack Hanratty and Just Barrier, new recruit to the team. Good work from Australia. How many options for Bella McKenzie to offload there? She has to take it in herself. Cheatham, who got married 2 weeks ago after the New Zealand game and then flew to Canada to play last week against the US, and her teammates gave her a great wedding present. A resounding victory, 58 points to 17 over the USA Women's Eagles. Looking back, Paige Ferries, playing her rugby at Worcester Warriors in the UK.
All right, hold back.
And down the middle goes the big kick. Can't say it enough. Now that's transformed the Canadian experience. Been knocked down by Australia. Madison Grant was right up on the case.
It's enough. It's enough. Come on.
Maddie Grant was the one that kicked it down and then got herself all the way down the field to be the first tackler there and created the turnover on that little knock-on.
Let's make sure we hold that weight, give each other headspace.
Canada really winning these kick battles.
Of course.
Australia opting for the option often, but Canada in good position. And with those kickers in the backfield, it makes a really big difference.
Maddie Grant working hard to get downfield. Part of the Youth Olympics in 2018. Studied out at Belmont Secondary School, out in home of the National Training Center in Victoria on Vancouver Island in Langford. Now, midfield scrum options, both sides for the Canadians.
Yes, please.
They're going to go right. 2 levels of attack. But Gallagher's met player and ball.
Okay, don't put them in.
Does well to recycle it. Again, Australia taking away the line. Little chip ahead. It's going to hit the turf. It could be anybody's ball. Working back. It's a scrum half.
Take them back.
Taken back. So we're going to have a 5-meter scrum. The ball wasn't quite over the line by the time Lane Morgan got it.
Yeah, take it in by Gold, yeah?
And in the first half, you mentioned the kick opportunity was there for...
So scrum 5. Yeah, you took it back
Sarah
into your
Maud
own
Lachance.
The debate there with the referee was whether the Australian player, and in this case, it was Lane Morgan, took it back over a line, and I think she did clearly. So it'll give a great opportunity for Canada. Let's have a look here.
Look at the little option. It was on earlier in the game. She recognized it. She saw it. And this time she made it work for Canada. Carried it back into her own end zone, did the Australian player, giving Canada the scrum at 5.
Crouch!
Sarah Maud Lachance taking the high fives. It was her little chip ahead. It keeps the pressure on the Wallaroos.
Set! Steady!
Selche to introduce. Such a key figure in this team. Gone down in scrum time. Penalty to Canada. Selche taps and goes. A little bit of a stumble. Happy to go with the power game. DeGoody looking for the hat trick. She'll be stopped. Out wide. Sabota. Sarah Sabota. Credit the Australians. They're getting their bodies underneath. Goes wide from Detosi. Gallagher has a look. Sees that it's not on. Great awareness. Claire Gallagher. And listen to the University of Ottawa. Gigi's give her a shout. Her hometown university. So proud of the young number 10.
23 years old in her second cap for Canada and leading the team from the number 10 jersey. Look at the smile on her face. She's having a night tonight in Ottawa. And look at that, all the Australian defenders bit just with her eyes. She looked out, they all shifted out, and under the post she went. Great recognition, great footwork from Claire Gallagher.
Well, a beast competitor as DeGoody adds the extras. Gallagher, a health sciences major at the university, not only a rugby star, but an academic All-Canadian twice. Few strings to her bow.
And for those not familiar with the Canadian university system, you have to maintain an average above 80% to get that recognition, which is really tough to do when you've got sports and life and social and work and everything else that goes on for a young university student.
Sounds like there's some pain in that comment, Miss Landry.
Excuse me, Mr. Reese. I was also all-Canadian academic.
Well, 5 tries on the board for Canada.
Tackle! Stay there.
Australians have got some possession. They're going to need something quick here. 45 minutes played in this, the 6th and final Pacific 4 match.
Tackle! Tackle! Ready!
Tackle means the player had a knee on the ground, so it was released. Nice dummy there, but Kaljavi gets back to make the tackle.
No, leave it, Black, leave it!
There's Kaljavi again after the big tackle from Courtney Holcamp. Lots of gold jerseys around. Finally, Siokapesi Paolo gets a little bit of a run. They haven't had much to show out in the backfield. There's Grace Hamilton, Sydney Uni product. Canada's surely offside there, but the referee's letting him go. Well, very well connected is the Canadian defense at the moment. Oh, they've stepped out of a tackle there. Taking it on physically is Maya Stewart. The fans reacting. Fair steal. Sophie DeGoody over the ball. Everything going Canada's way as Australia not releasing.
Canada's defense coming off the line after every phase, able to put Australia under pressure, and even on that missed tackle earlier, the coverage defense was there. And on the next phase, this one, look at the pressure. Fabiola Cortez at Paige Ferries, and then Sophie DeGoody with the turnover at the breakdown.
Canada line-out unsuccessful thus far. A couple not straights.
Maul.
The maul has been established. They're crabbing backwards.
Same maul.
So same maul. Jatusi's got her hands on it. She's going to ship it back to her captain.
How you go?
DeGoody's got her hands on it. Such a tight group. You could throw a blanket over this Canadian pack right now. This is scenes of their success at the World Cup down in New Zealand. The crowd, the educated crowd here know it.
All back. No, leave it. Don't put her in. Let the ball come. Stay there.
Good communication from Sarah Cox, the referee.
Get out, you come.
Australian players
don't
caught
put
on the
her
wrong
in. Let
side.
the ball come.
DeGoody ships it to Holtkamp.
All good.
Trying to get it back, and she does.
Guys,
There's a little bit of niggle out here. Both sides are frustrated.
Back.
That one's gone backwards, said the referee. There's a little bit of after, some pushing and shoving after the play. I think frustration from the Australians and maybe Canada wanting to make a statement on home soil here. There's Holtkamp again. What a body of work she's put in here. Gallagher getting the hands free. Immediate support from the outside backs, and again the Australian backs penalized for not being able to get out of there. So they try the kick, it's not going to come off.
Right, captain.
Referee's got a little word. Too many penalties,
Captain,
I think.
please. That's 1, 2, 3 penalties against you. Very similar for things, okay? This has to change.
Simply put.
Roll.
Well, good work from the Canadian forwards there. None better in the last game against New Zealand and in this one so far.
Yeah, no worries, mate. Check him on.
Courtney Holtkamp, the pride of Rimbey, Alberta. She's got 4 sisters. They're all rodeo queens.
Okay,
she comes from a dairy farm
12.
in Alberta.
You're number 12.
She has to go and play rugby. The other girls are doing things like bull riding and
subs both sides.
cowie things that they do at the Calgary Stampede, which is happening right now. So she's in a great
13.
force in this Canadian team. But one of the sisters who broke away is not a rodeo queen, but is a rugby queen here as far as the fans are concerned. As we see fresh legs on the field, a player you know well, just then, Fancy Bermudez from Edmonton.
Okay. Awesome, thanks, mate.
The young sevens player starting to make a name in sevens and 15s. And she's come on into the centers.
Here you go. She's in the air. Too many penalties.
So you heard our referee, too many penalties, and because the player is still in the air, she can't be brought down. So it will be a 10-minute rest for Eva Karpani.
And that'll be have a big impact on Australians' scrum, potentially their line out, all their forward work. Eva Karpani has a big impact for them. So she's going to sit down for 10 minutes, and Canada will look to take advantage of that opportunity.
Tosi still throwing in. Puts in a long shift for an international hooker. Canada going for it. Brooklyn finds herself at the front with the ball. Probably should have been shifted back. They may have actually done that as the mall's been reformed around her. 7 meters to go. Canada pumping the legs. Australia desperately trying to stop it legally. Canada still on the rumble. The crowd will take them in for the last few meters. Canada on the drive. Tyson Burkaboom, her second try. What a day. For the pride of Uxbridge, Ontario.
Speaking with Sophie DeGoody earlier, 2 weeks ago actually, She mentioned the importance of the forwards and the tight five and the work that they do on the field. And look at this again. Everybody's body on the line. Full team commitment. And Tyson DeGoody, her teammates will be so happy to give her another. But she's earned it. She's worked well off the ball.
And it's not on.
Started that maul, got herself out, and got back.
Right. And clock's there if you need it, right?
Got back again, the work rate.
Yeah, and clock's there.
So Sophie DeGoody having been in the middle of all that.
Right.
Now has to kick. And the new innovation in rugby, the conversion shot clock. So 90 seconds after Bookabum dotted that one down within that time frame. DeGoody has to strike this ball. 60 off a penalty. Keeps her head down. And a great kick. Tired leg, sometimes harder to kick, as you know, Jezlan.
And you can see the breath work she takes herself through before that. Brings the heart rate down. It's incredible what just a couple breaths can do for your heart rate. Clear your mind a little bit to be able to execute those kicks.
So we'll keep an eye as Karpani's in the sin bin. There's one converted try, and the stats are pretty heavy against the team that's one short in terms of giving up points. Bookabum again doing her other job.
Make sure we're on side. Stay there.
Looking one dropped kickoff. Not much Bookabum has done wrong in this match. Look at the Australians. They are firing in. They're totally committed here. The Canada seems to have immediate support. And they're mixing up the offload game with the power game, and it's working. Fancy Bermuda is cutting in field. She keeps that ball alive. Corteza. She's done a lot of the graft work tonight. Not as present in the open field, but she's doing lots of hard work. That one doesn't go to hand. Went back, said the ref. Gallagher keeps it alive. There's Menan. The referee's going to get some help, and he's going to come back for the knock-on.
Really starting to open up for Canada here, playing with some freedom.
Apologies, I thought that went backwards. So knock on.
Moving the ball. It would have been a great pickup if they let it go.
Yep, time off.
Just wasting time.
Yeah, no worries, mate. Send them on.
Running repairs, maybe a bit of cramp here.
Number 6.
Incredibly hot here in Ottawa. We had tornado warnings yesterday, but we're in good shape today, we hear. And I can't credit enough all of these sets of women, the Australians, the Canadians here, but the New Zealanders and the Americans. They've been out in the community. They've been doing clinics. They've been doing so much to help grow the game, raise the visibility as World Rugby's in town, and we're looking to accelerate the program. Just heard from Sally Harks in between the games of how we want to grow the game and how the women's vehicle is such a valuable tool to get new eyes on the game and get new people playing and involved and watching.
Well, it wasn't that long ago that they told us women's rugby wasn't marketable, that nobody wanted to watch us play. And here we are last week, 10,000 people setting a Canadian record.
Just grab a card off them.
The kids are out, the alumni are out, new rugby fans are out. We had the U18s playing, the U20s playing, so it's been an incredible week of rugby. 2 weeks of rugby for Canadian rugby to grow and continue to develop. And keep in mind all this while the women have been ranked top 4, top 3 in the world.
And the legacy, and Nathan Bombers, the Canadian CEO, said we're going to leave a legacy, not just these great matches and images, but we're also going to leave behind 3,000 rugby balls in the schools. Every kid in the city in Ottawa has a chance at a free ticket. Clinics right throughout NFP, Let's Play Rugby programs, HSBC rookie rugby programs. Just fantastic engagement. Topped off by these great international athletes battling hard right to the death. And you see some subs on the field for Australia. O'Gorman on.
Binds! Set!
Julian Pomeray on the flank here. Australia with a chance to get a try here. Carry there from Maya Stewart.
No, leave it now. Yeah, well done.
A little bit slower ball production for the Australians. So giving Bella McKenzie a few less options. Nice offload from her. Keep the play going to Georgina Fredericks. This is better from Australia. Lori Kramer bumping around, still on her feet. It's a dangerous runner. So many Exeter Chiefs in this tournament. Head coach Susie Appleby, I'm sure, watching Johnson and Zachary from the U.S., watching Titosi and the other Canadians.
No, you're off feet
as well
now.
as Laurie Kramer.
Yeah, well done.
Good phase of possession for the Australians. This is their 6th phase. Ooh. Nice chop tackle there from Bukaboom again. He's down for the moment. Some very tired bodies out here. 2 games in 6 days here as part of the Pacific 4. That one's bobbled forward, said the referee. Credit the Australians, but with 1 in the bin, they just don't seem to have enough ability to unlock this Canadian defense.
6.
Not a lot of options, not a lot of misdirection or runners coming in on any kind of angle. And the Canadian defense not coming up as much as they were earlier in the game, but still very much connected. And even a meter or 2 of go forward on defense takes away time and space from the attack. And it's enough to get the turnover.
Well, to complete the Canadian story, Gabrielle Sempt on the field from Regina, Saskatchewan. Plays a rugby at Castaway Wanderers and Exeter Chiefs.
Crouch.
Started at number 6 in the last game.
Bind. Set.
And little old Justine Pelletier still directing traffic with her captain, DeGoody, who flips that one straight to the backs. Ferries brought down. Titosi was on her own. Yeah, just a little late to arrive, the Canadian support. Excellent work from Australia, and I think it was the form of Ashley Marsters who got the steal there.
It's the little battles. You see, it's still so important for Australia. Obviously, the scoreline, not what they want at this point in the game. Canada conceding just 3 penalties to Australia's 13. So Australia is celebrating that one. They've been few and far between this game against Canada.
Time off.
Well, we're going to have time off. We're going to have a little look upstairs, see if there's some maybe a bit of foul play. Referee's going to have a look. We'll listen in and see what the question is. And she's looking at the big screen in the stadium and the television match official.
Foul play.
Helping her out.
Against Gold.
It's Andrew McMenemy.
Checking foul play against
Scotland.
Gold, number 1.
And there was
I've
some
got no
frustration
images at the moment, Menez, okay, so.
Earlier on, and Brianne Cheatham is the one whose actions are being
questioned. Of gold number 1.
Yep.
Dangerous tackle.
Yep.
Shoulder to head.
Okay. Okay, Menez, throw that one through. So let's have it real speed first, please.
That's the collision
and then
we're
we'll
looking
just look
at
those actions.
Presumably to see if there's any head contact.
First.
Yes, please. Yep, and then we'll look at. Okay.
Sarah Cox wants to see it in full speed because obviously these things look very different when they're slowed down frame by frame.
Okay. So Menez, what I'm seeing is Gold number 1 is in an upright position. She makes direct contact with number 2 in the head. But for me, I'm seeing this as not high danger. So I've got yellow card. So it's the same for you, you've got yellow card. Amelia, wherever you are, you agree? Okay, so Menez, I just need a mark just after this, but I'll take Gold number 1. We'll reverse that penalty
so it will be
as
a
well.
yellow card for Brianna Cheatham.
Number 1.
Perhaps a bit harsh, but that is the way the game is interpreted now. There's contact. I think it's important there was
okay, look,
not
it is a shoulder
high
to the
degree
head.
of danger.
It's low danger. Okay, so it's yellow card.
More frustration
We're, on
for the Reds player.
Who's saying here, mate? I can't see you.
Well, what a commitment to her national team. Craig Brown, her husband, was married after the All Blacks game, but hasn't been with the wife for the last 12 days.
Awesome, thank you.
And Ava Karpani's still in the sin bin, so Australia down to 13 players for another 2.5 minutes here.
Scrum.
Canada's going to choose a scrum because, of course, Australia have to match at scrum time. So 2 unmarked backs out there as Tyson Bukaboom and her team
So it's number
will pack
1.
down.
We just need a front rower to come on,
So
and then we
because
need to know
Cheatham's a
which
front
one's being
rower, a
sacrificed.
specialist
Okay.
position, Australia will need to make a substitution, further
it off.
substitution. Imagine we'll see Maiden or Maddie Shuck. I'm not sure if she can play. No, so there's the two front row
So
girls
number
in
1
there.
and number 3. So we're all right with number 3 because someone's on for number 3 already, yeah? Yeah, so we
so
just need to
that's
make sure that we got the correct
Radio
numbers
Gorman
on the
is on.
pitch. So make sure you have sacrificed enough numbers, please, Emma.
Madison Shuck's come on.
So gold 11 has come off, has been sacrificed for this
And
player.
Ivania Wong.
And then we've also
is
had a
gonna
player
come off.
sacrificed for the other player coming on that has also been binned, the number 3, yep.
Well, they get a front row replacement on.
Yeah. So just to explain, because front row is a specialist position for safety reasons, those specialists need to be in the game for scrum time. We've made the subs, we're ready to go. Australia's too short. Canada have a massive opportunity here with a scrum and only 5 Australian backs out there marking 7 Canadians.
Advantage.
Advantage to Canada, as you'd expect.
Advantage.
They go with the
Number
flow.
3 losing it behind.
Doubling around, it's Gallagher behind. She pops it to Ferries. Ferries in space, hits it hard. Coming back infield. There's La Chance.
Can we just confirm that there's the right numbers on for Australia, please? Because there's another replacement, yeah? Definitely.
Sarah Cox
Thanks
just
very
getting
much.
some help from the sideline officials to make sure everything's okay. Because it did seem to me as though Australia still have lots of bodies out there.
I think they've got 13, but credit to them
Absolutely
for
not. You dropped
spreading
your
out
mind on that one.
and covering that well.
You okay? Time off? What's wrong? Here we go. Here we go.
Justine Peltier apologizing
That's a very
for
good
questioning the
advantage.
referee. Sarah Cox, congratulations to her. Her 35 games
Crouch.
international test rugby makes her the most capped female referee.
Set.
Men's and women's games for Sarah. The English.
Hey, look.
Player with
Right,
a whistle.
we've got to hold our weight. Make sure you guys are holding your weight. Make sure that you want to stay the hit, okay? Perfect. Let's stay strong. Feet underneath. I'll try. Yeah, of course.
Well, lots of laughs out there in the middle of an international
Right.
test match.
Right.
The beauty of rugby, isn't it?
Let's get ourselves set.
The ref is really part of the game. You need to be able to build a good relationship with the referee throughout the match.
Right, in we come. Crouch.
I do believe the Canadian front row is still in there.
Bind.
Kinley Hunt, good game for her, Satoshi and Menin. Big pressure from Canada. Australia looking for just their second try of this match. They came out of the gates and got one through their forwards and Ashley Marsters, but that's really all they have to show on the scoreboard. This one bounces, this could be interesting. Kicked right back, but the Goodie's got a feel for it. She's off and running, puts it in field to her vice captain, who lays it up into space. But the French connection can't quite work
And the
there.
advantage from the knock-on.
Maddie Grant can't hold on to that one, and now they're going to clear the lines.
Advantage
Well,
over.
they're going to go open. A speculative kick, which could be problematic.
Advantage.
Advantage being played
Yeah,
to
no.
Australia. Some
Baby,
tired
that's
bodies
low.
out there,
Step
and the skills
back.
are
Step back.
just dropped off a notch. Case in point.
We'll come back. No advantage.
Let's go.
Yeah, no worries, mate. Time off.
So time off. So much rugby ahead for these women. This was the
And Bin is
bouncing
back on.
ball.
Right, just
Should
tell
be
me if the
noted,
bins come back on as
Canada
well.
has just announced, with the help of England, 2 test matches
Bin
for
is
this
been
Canadian
replaced, no
women's
worries.
team, September 23rd and 30th over in the UK. Games in Exeter and Sale during the Men's Rugby World Cup. So great preparation as they head into WXV, and we keep referencing this for those who aren't quite aware of what WXV is, this new tournament, the top 6 teams in the world take each other on. 3 from Europe, 3 from this competition, the Pacific 4. And then there's a tier 2 and a tier 3 competition. Great development for the women's game.
Absolutely, not just for the top teams, but for all the other teams trying to improve, trying to compete with those top 6 teams to get these games in. And for Canada, this will probably be the most games they've played in the first year of a World Cup cycle. The Pac 4, the games against England, the WXV. It means so much to these teams. Canada's a big country to get these teams together, players together, build those connections.
You're off your feet.
Especially while some of our players are out in the UK and in France, it's hard to get the team together geographically.
That ball's spilled forward. I know for the Australians with the Olympics looming, they don't have all their best players there. Their foot in touch. Obviously, Australia have a stunning women's sevens team, as you know well. They are specialists and don't tend to cross over. You know, there were a couple of Esters, Sharni Williams and Bian Tarita, did a great job in the Rugby World Cup down in New Zealand. Something Canada has addressed and actually is working with the sevens program, just viewing players as rugby athletes first, and then they'll be assigned where they'll go.
Hang on, give it a second. We got time off, okay? Just wait a second.
Kevin Rouet.
Yeah, we're just making subs.
It's great to see. A lot of players in past have wanted to, but haven't had the opportunity. And ultimately, Canada wants the best team playing sevens and the best team playing 15s. And sometimes that means it's the same players on the field.
Well, selection dilemma's up. There's Maya Brubaker on the field.
Entry,
Great moment for the woman in the 16 jersey. Pride of West Montrose, Ontario. Gets her first job, not one she really wanted to remember, but a big moment for her. Just 3 years into rugby is Maya Brubaker. She was a hockey player up until 3 years ago and then converted and absolutely loves it. Is now winning her first cap. Congratulations to her.
Alex Ellis and Olivia Apps also on the field.
Great story about Alex Ellis in the 18 jersey. She was once an usher in this stadium for CFL football games, and as the teams were here, and she was a younger person, the teams were here, she was telling people where to go, telling other teams where the dressing rooms were. So a long way from usher to international athlete in the same stadium. Good attack from Canada. They've traded numbers out wide.
Yep.
Just spilled there by Sarah Maud Lachance.
And these back plays really starting to come. The last couple passes, the outside players are a little bit flat, creating some pressure to get the pass perfect into their hands. But look at the options. Little pop passes, Maddie Grant with the quick hands. And if Sarah Maud Lachance is just a little bit deeper, Maddie Grant can just hang that ball up. She runs onto that. Surely it's another try for Canada.
Crouch. Binds.
Well, Alex Ellis.
Okay, so we've got too much weight this side, and then you two are head on head as well, okay? Give each other space. Get your shoulder out, okay? If you don't get your shoulder out, you're liable to be penalised, all right? Just not with the head on head. Hold your weight, both of you.
Alex Ellis, the Barhaven Scottish player. Saracen. Big activation here, all these young girls. In fact, our MasterCard fan of the match in the last match was a Barhaven player.
Set!
Bit of a scrappy scrum there, but I think the ball is going to get away. Finally, it does. Knocked forward, advantage to Canada. Both sides knocking it forward. Stick a fork in it. Someone's got to grab it.
It's a little bit the story for Australia this match. Not going to plan, not going to hand, and not where you want to have a knock on.
Head off. Head off.
Against a Canadian team that is dominating the set piece, particularly that tight five, the engine room, Tyson, Courtney Holcamp.
Crouch!
So will be Olivia Apps, the Canada Sevens captain to put in at scrum half.
Set.
She has her own great story, a fantastic inspiration. DeGoody digs it out. Apps and DeGoody maybe playing for Canada, selected in the Olympic qualifiers. August 19th and 20th out in Langford. If you're on the West Coast, come check that out with the men's and women's Olympic qualifying tournaments for Rugby Americas North. Rugby.ca for tickets, but DeGoody may be doing double duty. The left foot of Claire Gallagher, which has been one of the stories of this match. Her ability to gain field position.
You lost your feet on that one.
And get her forwards some go forwards.
Yeah. Right, you're on a warning.
We talked about it last week, and I think she's done really well. Not sure if she expected to find herself in that position.
Number 1
but
and number
sometimes
15.
you got to seize the opportunity.
Yep, number 1.
Prove your point of difference.
And number 15.
It will be McKinley Hunt coming off. And on the field for her first cap, Sarah Klein from Edmonton, Alberta. The Leprechaun Tiger. Huge moment for her. She took her opportunities under coach Kevin Rouet in the preparation camps and worked incredibly hard, and is now winning her first National Senior Women's Cap. Congratulations, Sarah Klein.
Okay, turn on.
Overthrow. Australia's on it. Apps chopping the tackle. That one hurt. Brubaker, nice first hit for her. The looping pass off the side of the boot of Mackenzie.
And again, the pressure from Canadian defense. She couldn't turn her hips upfield, and the kick almost went backwards there, gaining no territory at all, giving Canada a 6 meter line out. But it's the pressure of the Canadian defense that's created this opportunity.
And you got to feel for the Australians in this heat here as the Canada breaks up the short side. Australia's still one player short. They've served much of the second half with 1 or 2 in the bin. Strong carry there from Senf. Oh, player and ball, the hospital pass, so Gallagher goes in to try and help her mate, and she does. Apps will dig it out. DeGoody gets her hands on it. She tips it to Ferries. Nice ball out wide. 5 meters to go. Offloaded. Bookaboom. Unbelievable. Tyson Bookaboom with a hat trick on her 60th cap.
It's a fairy tale for Tyson Bookaboom tonight. And you can see the bond of the team, the connection. She's been smiling since her second try, and I think she's just taking in the moment. She's worked off the ball so hard today. For her to be in that support position out on the wing is a testament to her work off the ball, the meters she's covered. She's been everywhere in the breakdowns, on the carries, the tackles, the tries.
Well, in grade 11, at 17 years of age, Tyson Bookaboom had to choose between hockey and rugby provincial tryouts, and her family is a very famous ice hockey family here. Her dad with 5 Stanley Cups to his credit.
Thanks, mate.
And thank goodness for Canadian rugby. She chose rugby in the end. It's her 10th year serving in this Canadian jersey. And we mentioned only Gillian Florence, the great Gillian Florence, has more caps than her. But even Jill Florence would be amazed by the performance put in by Tyson Bookaboom here today. As DeGoody just misses just wide.
Yep, just make sure that the right people have come off as well.
Living out in Cowichan on Vancouver Island, Bookaboom telling a great story here. So the Australians still looking to get back to full strength. It's been a tough second half for that reason. Ellis can't gather it.
One back. That's enough.
Good pressure and great commitment from Ashley Marsh. There's no quit here from the Wallaroos.
Not right, that's not right in the air though. I stood right next to you.
And in a game like this, these little battles, they go a long way. Obviously, there's not going to be enough time for Australia to come back here. But you want to see the athletes still competing in those little one-to-one battles. And now we see Tyson Bookaboom leaving the field. and listen to the fans in the crowd giving her all the cheer and reward that she deserves.
It's okay when good things happen to good people.
Crouch!
Well, we're in our last 10 minutes of Pacific 4 2023. It's been great to have this event come here. Thank you for those of you in Australia tuning in on Stan Sport. This game was put up on TSN1, the prime sports channel in Canada.
Let's reset.
Tonight.
Let's make sure we hold up. Wait. Let's make sure that we're taking that hit as well, okay?
We're growing the game. We're increasing the visibility.
Come on. In you come.
Let's go. Let's go. Come strong.
Right, square up.
Back in. With your B.
Crouch!
Great shot there.
Bind!
Up.
The Wallaroos, similar restrictions on their selection. Only 5 overseas players allowed, just like the men's team. So, Yana Elisaya had a little dart there. Queensland red player. Australia looking to put something together. As they say, they really found some nice form against the Americans. We came out of the gates today earlier on in our first match. We're up 17-5 against the world champion Black Ferns. Couldn't close that one out, but they too have found a little bit to build on as they look to WXV2. They'll be down in South Africa for their Tier 2 competition, but Australia and Canada, both these teams will be joining New Zealand and 3 teams from Europe in October down in New Zealand for WXV, the first edition. Canada offside midfield. Phase 7 for Australia. They're on advantage now. There's a nice little tip over the top. Again, Visaya dancing.
No advantage.
So it will be an advantage to Australia. And a penalty.
5 offside.
And for Bella McKenzie, again, so impressive against the U.S. Just didn't get enough front foot ball, I don't think, to get this backline attack going.
I just chuck him on the line, mate.
Didn't play against New Zealand in the Pac-4, but was very impressive against U.S. Waratah's Player of the Year in 2021. Australia looking to respond. 15 meters of work to do. Canada want to put up the black wall. The lift didn't really happen.
Contest from both.
Wow, big tackle coming in there from Laetitia Royer. Another young player getting on the field from Loretteville, Quebec. In the St. Anne de Bellevue club. Big tackle.
Okay, enough. Okay, drop. There you come.
Still more contact. Both sets of players working incredibly hard out there.
Ball is up.
Finally had enough. How many chances they'll have a go.
No advantage.
Speculative kick.
No, we're not getting any advantage out of that.
The first
Knock
knock
on there.
Not the option with no chasers on it, but with the advantage played, they know it'll come back to them. And this scrum just lets everyone take a breath, settle in, try and put something together to finish this game off.
Okay, let's go. Come on. Let's go. Yeah, let's meet up and you. We've got to get a bit quicker.
All right, we're winding down here. Canada just a bit more possession. Maybe Australia
Let's go, please.
not able to break down this defensive wall, and the stats will show that.
Binds.
Well, they got 3 players either side of this scrum. McKenzie in behind. They go right. Tried to offload out the back door, and it's going to pop loose. Ferries to Apps, the 7s combination.
can! Tackle! Tackle! Let go! Don't
Tackle's
touch!
complete.
Leave it there.
Now there's space. Paige Ferris looked inside. It wasn't on. Going to keep the phases going. Foyer. Australia with a fair steal.
Good steal.
First one there.
Good steal.
Tabua Tuanakavandra on the field now. There's a nice little touch from Trilene Pomerat. Holtkamp still working hard. Holt Stamp, as her teammates call her. She's prone to a bit of a stomping in training. The only player I knew like that was World Rugby Hall of Famer Al Sharon from the city in Ottawa.
All back.
Not the first person you sign up to go in the training group with, as you might get stomped on. And there's a steal. Second effort from Laetitia Royer, playing the rugby at ASM Romagna, Concordia University product. Oh, about the only thing Gallagher's done wrong all day. She tripped and then still puts in a 50-meter kick. Something seriously wanting in Canada's previous game against New Zealand. Double tackle. And it was for Teza and Gallagher.
You're gonna come back onto onside first before you go for the ball.
Canadians offside.
Come back to an onside position first.
McKenzie down the line. We're into the final 5 minutes here. Well, it's been an outstanding day, and young woman entered the field getting recognition for her 60th cap. But on this occasion, after her hat trick and a remarkable performance, along with her forwards up front, the MasterCard player of the match is that woman there, Tyson Bukaboom. She's all smiles. She talked about how she moved out to Cowichan on Vancouver Island, was away from her partner so much. But it's moments like this that make it all worthwhile.
Good contest.
Australia looking to get their second. Norris just brought down. She got the first one. I think the Canadian coaching staff will be happy with this defensive performance. Very few cracks in the
and then you
armor.
also made a tackle with a player without the ball.
Attacking the player without the ball. So Australia possession will probably kick to the line again. Those yellow cards hurt them. But I do think this Canadian defense has been very, very stingy. Not allowing the green and gold any space, and they really enjoyed that against the Americans. That one finds touch. Final 3 minutes of play here in the 6th and final match of the Pacific 4 Rugby Championship.
Still offside lines.
Well, New Zealand are going to lift the cup, but the women wearing the black jerseys here have made a big statement in front of their home crowd. They will take second place in the 2023 Pacific 4.
Right, 17, stop!
Lachance kicks it long. That'll give an opportunity to Elistaya, who gives it back to her fly half, Arbella McKenzie. And again, this Australian attack perhaps just a little bit too deep. Ooh, a nice chop tackle there. Sliding into the line. Josh Sayumanatafa, the late replacement. Part of White Rock, BC. Nice spin there from Lesbian Huruai, Mubrumbi. 2 caps to her name, adding to her tally. The goodie down for the moment. Huruai tests around the fringes again. Off and running, just 5 meters to go. Australia threatening right to the death here. Couple meters short. Bowlers lining up. O'Gorman stopped. The ball's presented at the back. Double, triple tackle. The spin move. Under it.
Held up.
Held up. Well, fantastic commitment from the Canadians right to the end. And I think it is Laetitia Royer. She's been superb as she came on the field. just battled so hard against some knee injuries, ACL injuries. Incredibly positive individual, and St. Anne de Bellevue product showing she can play at this level. Gallagher's going to bang it long with the left foot. We're into the last minute.
Thanks, Menace.
That sums up the Australian effort, unfortunately. Long periods with one short. Nice offload. Dancing on the sideline is Stewart, but it's not to be. So the final seconds, the final line out will give Canada a bit of a victory parade here. Tyson Bukaboom gets 3 tries. The Goody leads from the front with 2 tries of her own. Lachance gets one, as does Gallagher. The Goody has a little look up at the clock on the big screen, and she's going to get the ball off the park. And the crowd will tell you about this one. It's been all Canada in the second half. Huge relief for them. They took on the world champions on home soil. Couldn't get them historic upset, but they can win this one convincingly over Australia, 45 points to 7.